What it do? What it do? We're doing feedback number 84. We're about to get down. We have about 20 submissions in line. We're about to see who really has the heat of the heat. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Up first, we have Roll It. Remember to upload your track and hashtag live feedback in my Discord if you want to be featured in the stream. And if you want some feedback. First in line is Eek Beats with Roll It. Let's get it on.
These.
All right, cool. That is Eek Beats with Roll It. I gotta say, that song was getting repetitive very fast. The overall energy of the song, too, is very minimal. And in a lot of the sections, it sounds like things are competing and it sounds congested and unbalanced. So there's a lot of issues going on here that is making it very hard to, catch a groove or start dancing, which is important. Like this intro is, let's see, it's about 1 minute and 5 seconds exactly. It's very long and it's very empty in here. There's not a lot of, there's like not a main idea playing right here. So it's just like a drum beat and the guitar, the reggae guitar. Because it's so slow There's no vocal, there's no bass line. It feels very odd. In reggae, the bass line and that bass guitar is really holding it down a lot. So we need at least that. What feels full here. And this drop, it sounds very odd. You know, there's this sustain in the background. Well, first off, the drop just randomly hits us. There's no pre-drop or anything. So the overall dynamics and the waves, the energy of the song is all over the place. Remember, in EDM, we get things super loud in the build-up. Then we take a break, which is the pre-drop. And because it gets quieter, that means that it's going to sound heavier when we hit the drop. Because it goes loud, quiet, and then boom, we get smacked with all the frequencies right after that. So that's really important. And also, you got to make sure that the sustain that's playing, it's not playing the whole time. Like that sustain starts before the main groove starts. So it's just odd how that sustain is placed. It's really congesting everything. It's really high pitch. So it's a very harsh frequency and it's really loud. The mix is very imbalanced because this whole song's not loud enough. It's at -11 LUFS, so it should be louder. But with how loud those synths are, it's hard to even turn it up. So you really need to control your frequencies, learn about the Fletcher, Munson curve so you can understand how our ears basically have their own EQ on them, and the harsh frequencies are louder than the sub and low frequencies. So you have to keep that in mind when you're making music. Plus, the main motif is very repetitive over time. You're kind of just repeating the same thing over and over again. So energy is decreasing over time and becomes very hard to dance to or listen to. That sustain is really just too much. And then this main bass is too much too. It's very loud. It's also very wide, and it's not really doing much except just that one dun 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 dun. There's no call and response, no conversation here, so movement is minimal, and that's going to cause issues when making us dance, you know, trying to get all funky in the nightclub. That's the whole goal. Dance. Dance, dance. Dance, dance. Damn, there's that one song called Dance, Dance. I forgot who sings it, but damn, if I could hear that right now. Up next, we have Beyond Reality. Don't read this or you will die. Let's get it done. Oh no, I just read it. No. No. Shit. EDC. This is my last song. la 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 la. Okay. That's nice. Very beautiful. Very fun. Lots of vibes. Good emotion. Great transitions halfway through the drop with the ARP. This shit's so sick. Really, really nice songwriting here and good transitions from drop to breakdown. So overall, it just, I mean, the notes and the music theory is great, but the overall like mixing and the frequencies that are presented to us doesn't feel all right. It almost feels like in the drop here, for example, the sub is much louder and bigger than everything else. And then our main synths are like, kind of like, they're wide, they're not as full and as loud as they should be. The compression may be an issue too. You may not be compressing as much as you should be to pull up all these existing frequencies so that they sound as bright and full as possible. Clarity and brightness is going to be important with a genre like this, where we want it to sound bright. We want high frequencies to be the majority of the frequencies we hear. And then the low frequencies will support all the mids and the highs compared to being the dominant frequency. Because this isn't like, you know, heavy, nasty, distorted rhythm like Hall or something. It's just, you know, future bassy vibes, melodic vibes. So the sound is like, it sounds almost it filtered, like sounds like it's almost in a bubble, and all the frequencies are there, but they're just not being able to breathe as full as they should, and that is an issue. So you want to be layering as much as possible, lows, mids, highs, wide and mono layers, and then once you have your layers, you group them and you compress them all together. You can use glue compression or multi-band compression, and you just pull up all these frequencies so that they are, you know, balanced and loud. If you check full lefts, we're in the drop, this future bass song, we're about -8 lefts, which is pretty quiet for something that should be really loud and very high energy. Maybe like a dubstep song that's like wubbier and like Of the Trees type stuff, then it could be around this quiet. There's more dynamics involved, but with this, I mean, this is high energy, big super saws, lots of melodic movement, huge bass. So usually we should be a little bit louder than this, probably like -6 lefts. You could even get louder than that, as long as it's not distorted, and as long as there's no harsh frequencies that are being blasted. But we have to turn it up a lot when we listen to it compared to other songs. And that's an issue. You know, you can mix and master as you go. And then when you get to the end, if all your frequencies are organized and cleaned up with EQ, it's pretty easy to, you know, check out your stereo image, make sure lows, mids, highs are all full, and call it a day. Use compression on individual tracks and on groups. You can even use some on your master or master groups. All kinds of different things that you can do to get that thing sounding more professional and presentable. Also, the snare, if we check the snare here, it sounds very small, very tight. It sounds almost like it doesn't fit this space. The snare should feel a little wet. It should feel maybe a little long to match the big energy of this section. we are dancing to that snare. We are moving to that snare. And if the snare is on point, it's going to add a lot more energy, a lot better feeling. That snare also doesn't sound like it has a lot of high frequencies either. It just sounds dull. The punch is nice, but we need more than just some of that punch. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of that punch. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Hello me. Said, yo, this is sick. Unknown said, yo. What's up, homies? How you guys doing? DJ Squash, what's up, man? How it do? I wonder if layering snares could be a good idea. Yes, it's a very good idea. It's what you should be doing always. In EDM, we're always layering snares, making things bigger, making things louder, stronger, and then controlling our tails so that, you know, things don't get too messy. You know what I'm saying? All right, guys, who's next? Let's go ahead and check it out. Check it out for the 1, 2, 2. Next in line, we have Basstronaut with ID 8. We don't have ID 7, fellas. With ID 8, Basstronaut Wub's Flight. Let's cook. Hey. Woo. Vibes. I like the flight of the wub. Feels good, especially when you're in it to win it. Basically, when you're in flight and you're wubbing, everything is feeling good. The dynamics, the overall stereo image use in here is amazing. It really reminds me of the trees and how clean it can get when it comes to all of this. This is really nice. Just these huge waves of sound feels real intense, really good. It's really nice. I feel like something with the snare could be improved. Maybe it's like not tuned to the right frequency. Maybe the delay has a little bit too much mids or lows going to the sides when it ping pongs. something about it seems like it's not fitting with the mix completely. So I would look into that. Try to see if you can tune your snare as well and just manage the frequency spectrum perfectly. If you ever analyze a Of the Tree song, you'll see how the kick and the snare and the hi-hats are placed perfectly in the spectrum and they all fit together elegantly. Really gets down to that when we have, very little elements and it becomes minimal. Overall movement and just dynamics are just so sick. It's just growing, going quiet to loud to big to small, from left to right. So much movement going on, and it's all well placed. This Pharrell, 4 counts, the 4 count bounce. That's some Pharrell shit right there. There's some cleanliness right here. When you're hearing some basic piano riff, and then it goes into some, fly gangsta shit. That's much appreciated. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate that right now. Good job. Good job. That's what we like to see. Make sure you're not coming in hot. The wubby dub, flubbidone, rubbido. Doog. Oh, God, look at this. Face mask. Prosecute. Face mask. Damn. He says, just the second drop is cool. Oh, okay. We shall see right now. Fuck, man, I'm gonna run that shit back one time. This is loud as fuck at one luff. Irresponsibly loud. I don't think that's good. I think we should be at like -3 luffs. But this shit's really fucking heavy. And I really, really like this heavy shit. This is my favorite type of shit. I'm confused though. Because Prosecute is an artist and Prosecute sounds like this. But your song's name is Prosecute. So I'm just confused. Like, what the fuck's going on? We're about to look at your SoundCloud, dude. Let's go ahead and take a little deep dive real quick. Yes. Face masks prosecute in the trees. All right. Okay. Sounds good. This is awesome. This is very heavy. It's very fun. The first drop is cool, and the second drop is cooler. It's just too loud. I mean, see how it's bricked like this? This is cool in this genre sometimes, you know, but getting to -1 is just too loud, you know. Like if we start measuring prosecute songs and all the songs that are working that have made them so powerful to get them to lost lands and play their frequencies, shouldn't be getting this loud. This is pretty dangerous. So just double check, make sure you reference other songs that are in your genre to see exactly how loud they are. The goal is not to be super loud. The goal is just to be loud and super clean and heavy and just yield the amounts of distortion as best as possible. Because right now we're on the limit, you know, we're edging and right on the fence of getting almost too much distortion or too... Sure sounds clean. So crunchy. I want to turn it up as loud as I can, but I can't because it starts to damage my hearing, and it shouldn't. So you should make sure this is finished and fully presentable to the audience in their eardrums. -3 less, by the way, is super, super loud. So loud that it can damage hearing. That's kind of like a limit you should impose on yourself so that you don't get too crazy. And then once we're at there, I can turn up my interface a lot and actually listen to it at full energy and go crazy. And I'm damaging my ears, yes, at that volume, but I'm having a good time. You know, that's the goal. If we're going to damage our hearing, we might as well have a good time while doing it. But damaging the hearing while listening at a low volume, not a good time. Not the best time. So you can double check on things like that. Otherwise, great fucking job. That's the grittiness. I love to hear. Shout out Doog. This shit's crazy. This shit's I'm about to follow this guy right now. I'll tell you what right now. He gets one of the rare follows. Congratulations. All right. Next in line. Chronic Stubs Throat Slitter. WIP latest. Let me get that in line. Let me get that in line. All right, Throat Slitter is coming up next. Give me 1 moment. Brief intermission, quick song intermission, 1 second. We're back with the Mac Attack, throat slitting, chronics, dubs. Get it. Sir Johnny said not loud enough, them loves need to be positivities. Indeed, sir. Lovage. What's your lovage? Oh yeah? You stand chance. You are nothing. Those pitch bends. Oh, that was close. Hey, y'all remember that shit, man? Very interesting one. Very nice and interesting. Cool. It's pretty decent. The wubs in the drop, though, sound like they're just... sound very quiet, almost behind the scenes. It only sounds like some mid frequencies and a little bit of highs. It just doesn't sound full at all. Let's see if I can have a comparison here. Okay, so while it's playing, listen to the ride, like the hi-hat. That hi-hat is pretty full with high frequencies. And when you compare the high frequencies to your bass, you can see that there's a big discrepancy, a huge difference in frequencies presented. We want those highs to be in the rides, yes, but we also need highs to be playing with your bass. We can layer and stack high frequencies a lot more than mids and lows. So we want to be doing that as much as possible to get things full. Use compression to pull out and pull up all the existing frequencies so things are loud and clean. And layering. So you can layer another high frequency layer on top of what's already playing. EQ it, turn it down, the volume, and, you know, get it nice. It's going to be important. That's your main bass, basically. So it needs to be big, loud, full, and off the chain. I'm glad you tried to make a better transition here between your drop and the breakdown. It's much better than before. Before it sounded like this. Which this one still needs to be fixed for sure. As soon as this one's finished, you can kind of duplicate the same technique you did here and put it at the end of the drop. But let's listen to this real quick. While this is playing, you might want to tease this. This is close. It still sounds a tiny bit abrupt, but much better than before. Like I said, maybe try to tease it in this section. I don't know. Something about this. This may be a different key or a different scale than your drop. You have to check and see what. Because that's in a. They're singing in a scale right there. So if that's not matching our song, that's probably what I'm hearing or feeling. The abrupt transition in keys, the notes that are playing. Basically, all the pitch intervals within the scale are what really matter. That's the feeling and the harmony that we get. It's a fun time, It's a fun time. So just double check those things. Second drop, fun, slow down. I like that. But in the second drop, the drop doesn't feel as big because of this big sub pitch thing before it. It's kind of like a fake out almost. So just keep that in mind. Because the sub is already playing full blast here, and then we get hit with the sub over here, the drop now feels less impactful than it would be if the sub didn't transition into the sub. So just double check those energies. Double check your energies. Good job though. Throat slitter. Very nice, very fun. Good time. Who's up next? And what's his name? Actually, I think this one was Broken Link. Gotta double check for the one time. It's broken right there, man. That's a broken link. Gotta tell him right now. That's a broken link. Right now. Okay. Let's go back up. Who's next? Who's next? We gotta find him right now. We gotta find him. Cleanliness up next. You put your pronunciation in the chat, but I don't remember it, unfortunately. So I'm going to try my best here. Allow me. Hard clip, final. Let's run it. Nicely done. All right. Allow me with hard clip final. You know what it is and what it ain't. This is interesting. The thing about this is we have a lot of movement in the bass. There's lots of wubs and different rhythmic patterns that are going fast and slow, and we're really on a rhythm journey with the basses, which is good, but the drums are like competing with that rhythmic journey. And our drums are so robotic and so exact and perfect. And it's very the opposite of what's going on with the basses, which are all like free form and moving and doing things that are just more dynamic. Let's just go and check this out. Sections like that, that's more rhythmy. Sections like this is more the wubbiness I'm talking about. So in sections like this, with the drums just going tss, 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 we're almost like losing focus on all the movement. And the hats work a lot better when it's like this. But even when we're listening to a section like this and we're listening to the hats are going back and forth in a very odd manner. It's almost like super quiet, loud. One's like in the middle, one's wide. It sounds like the hat is not adding as much energy as it should, and in some sections it's competing with the rhythms and energy that are there. So I would experiment with different hats, different tones, different like lengths. So you're going to shorten tails and make tails longer, and maybe try something different than the quarter note pattern in the wubbier sections. Like here. It's like the hat is almost, the tail's too long. So it's like congesting. If the hat was like a closed hat, for example, very tight and small, it would allow more space in the mix for that wub to be just up front and the star of the show rather than the hats competing with it. If there was like super heavy sub and like a lot of distortion, this hat may make sense. But right now the ride is just causing disruption. So I'm going to be careful on those things. Also, there's sections that sound very empty. Your drums and the ARP is louder than your main synth lead. So there's no like lead here. There's no vocals. There's no synth lead that's super loud and big in your face. So it sounds empty in these sections. And if it wasn't empty, it would add a lot more energy. It's critical that you have some vocal. The human voice is really important. It's the most important instrument on planet Earth, so you should use it, especially in your super high energetic sections like the build-up or breakdowns or, you know, intros. You gotta get it done when you get it done. Very nice. Very nice. We like to hear the melodics. We really do. Harmony is good. Harmony is good. Up next, we have Eyewitness and Tainted, Eat Your Ass. Absolute WIP. Interesting. All right, where is that? Where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay. Let's go ahead and get it done. Eat your booty.
I will eat your ass. I will eat my neighbors. I'm not letting my kids die. I'm just gonna be honest. My superpower is being honest. I've extrapolated this out, and I won't have to for a few years because I got food and stuff. But I'm literally looking at my neighbors now and going, I'm ready to hang them up, gut them and skin them and chop them up. You know what? I'm ready. My daughters aren't starving to death. I'll eat my neighbors. See, my superpower is being honest. I'll eat your ass. I will. I will. blood of the innocent. Overappropriation, more blood. Sell the baby parts. Combat model, optimal self-sufficiency. Probably the leader. The point is have you thought about that yet? Because I'm somebody that thought I could fix this, and I'm starting to think about having to eat my neighbor. You think I like sizing up my neighbor? Now I'm gonna haul him up by a chain and chop his ass up? I'll do it. My children aren't going hungry. I will eat your ass. Like nobody even knows. What's up, Blake? Thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow. Very nice. Very good. Very clean. Let's see. Silas Wait followed for the one time. Thank you very much. You are off the chain. I appreciate you. This is how we get it done. This is how we get it done. Oh, Nate. Shout out to Nate Schiffman as well for the follow. 5 hours ago. The big things, big happenings. All right. Eyewitness and Tainted with Eat Your Ass. Absolute whip. I gotta say, this is a pretty nice piece of art here. The Alex Jones resampling is really cool, actually. The fills are amazing in the drop, having the vocals, lots of energy. But the basses are so small, so tiny. They're not loud at all. And there's not a lot of energy in this song. It's really easy to tell the difference in loudness if you listen to how loud and big the clap / snare is compared to the basses. So check it. If you can't hear the difference, you may need to upgrade your headphones so you can get more dynamic range, more stereo image. But basically the clap is louder volume than the basses. And the basses are like behind the scenes. They're not up front and center like they should be. They should either be turned up or layered more or compressed more. Compression and saturation are the post-processing gods. That's what's going to get us loud. And you want to layer mono and stereo. You want to layer lows, mids, highs when it comes to sound design. The overall switches and changes in the phrases and all the variation that we have in here is impressive. And there's a lot of energy that is basically hidden in this song. And we need to bring it all out. We need it to be loud and big. Keep the clap and the snare as loud as it is right now and just make everything go up to match its fullness and intensity. Also, it's important that you understand when we're in this harmonic, melodic, feel-good type of feeling, I will.
Which is coming from the bells or whatever, the melodic elements. Transitioning abruptly to heaviness is going to feel very unnatural. And that's what's happening here. It feels very odd how we go from all these melodic elements just straight to heaviness. Sounds like two different songs. We don't want that. We want these to sound cohesive, like it's one song. So in the fake out, you can maybe make the call a melodic element, or you can have another section in between. You should have a fake out. We go straight into the drop. So if you do add a fake out, you can kind of prepare us for the heaviness and tease it before it happens. And that would help with the transition. I want to check on those things. These fake outs will help a lot with adding more energy in the drop and transitioning the energy from harmony and melody to heavy bass. I think that's about it. This is pretty artistic, very fun, great sampling, good elements. It's just our main elements are so behind the scenes, so quiet, so small. Need those big, man. Need those big. Good job. You love to see it. Serge Ionic is up next with Mortem. Very nice, very nice. Let's go ahead and check some things here. I think I need to grab something. Brutal said, yo, Drip, just want to check into my link work. Yes, it should have worked. And when we get to your name, we'll make sure we got it. So you're not actually doing feedback now. Huh? Eclipse Stars? Yes, I am doing feedback now. Yeah, I'm going over 20 different songs that were submitted to me. And I'm giving feedback on each of them. Kind of confused on what you're asking there. All right. So, next, Mortem, Serge Ionic. What do we have? What do we see? I'm going to go get a drink real quick, and we're going to get into it. 1 second. Let's run it. Mortem. Bounce. Nicely done. We have some pretty decent sound design in here. I think there could be improvements with the flow, the overall tops, like the hi-hats and the rides and the splashes and the crashes and the open hats and the close hats. All of our tops need to be checked on because it sounds very unnatural in this. We're going to check those. And when I say flow, I really mean like call and response. The overall flow between basses and the movement between basses and how danceable our phrases are, because right now it seems a bit repetitive and a bit stale with how it is. So we're going to check these things. Also, if we zoom out, you can see that there's no breaks, like fill breaks, dynamic breaks. It's all loudness. There's no breaks of silence. So this is going to be something that comes into play here, because if there's not dynamics, then the energy will start to decrease over time rather than increase, which is just not a good time, not a fun time. This transition is extremely abrupt. It does not sound like these two songs are one song. It sounds like two different songs here, especially with the beginning. It's all like happy guitar. This is cool, but we aren't able to transition these vibes into this. We just splash it out, and on top of that, it's not really on time perfectly, so it kind of just gets thrown in abruptly. And for us to get thrown in abruptly on such an important part of the song, which is the drop, the climax here, that's going to be an issue. The energy levels are pretty low here because of this. This doesn't really work as a fake out right now. So we have calls, which is cool, but we have no fills at the end of the phrase. So if we highlight the 4 bars, at the end of the 4-bar phrase, there should be a spot for silence and a spot to take a break from all the main things. Because once we get hit with the phrase after that, once it loops back to the beginning of the phrase, the second call, then the energy will be even more impactful. It'll be high. And that'll keep the energy progressing over time, as long as you make sure things don't sound repetitive and things keep changing and the listener keeps getting surprised. That's the goal. Listen to the hats, listen to the rides and the hi-hats on top. It's like two different. And they have super long tails. It's just not really going with the flow of the song. So check the length of your tails, check the tone of the rides and the splashes and the hats. It's going to affect the song. There's multiple going on, actually. There's multiple layers of tops. Like we have the close hat on top, like it's almost panned to the left too. So it's just all over the place with our hi-hats, and it's causing a lot of disruption with this mix. You could just have literally one ride in the middle, but there's 3 doing all kinds of different things from left to right, different amplitudes, different spaces and depths. So it's just too much, basically. Simplicity is key in most cases. So yeah, check those things, check on the flow, check on your dynamics, make sure that there's breaks and silences. Because, that's going to add more energy, believe it or not. Life is crazy. Sometimes the opposite is what get us the correct. It's all about negatives and positives, my guys. It's all about the balance and the negative and the positive. Killa Tofu said, good feedback, valid. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, man. Brutal said, not sure, but you're all good. Thank you. To be honest, I think they said this because the submissions are closed for the stream. Okay. Yes, they close quickly. I allow about 2-hour streams, because it gets a lot of songs. And I usually take a long time on each song. I like to get down on the nitty gritty, try to let you know as much as I physically can with my eardrums. Up next, we got a Digital Masochist New Master. Let me double check this is the correct one in line. I think it may be someone else. It is someone else. It's actually Kilowatts with WIP 20 V2. Sorry for the tease there. Kilowatts up next. WIP 20. Wait, WIP 20? Version 2? Whoa. You're just making songs and calling them numbers? Shit. Let's go. All right, cool. That's Kilowatts coming in with the WIP 20 version 2. Interesting. I am disappointed, though, that there's not any sort of naming scheme. Like, whenever I see just numbers for the title, it becomes almost less artistic because the goal is not just to make sounds, but to create a whole soundscape and create this whole universe and world that the listener can go into. Because we've heard these sounds so much, all the guns and the heavy dubstep, and it sounded brand new when Murata did it in 2018, 2019, or whatever, 2020. So we can't surprise them with the sound design. So we have to surprise them with something else. And it's really important that you start to theme out your music and think of different cool ideas to make your songs into. And if you want to take it to the next level, your song should match your artist theme or your artist soundscape. Like, how Ella's Dream has this spiritual, like futuristic outer space. Like, these are really important for your artist brand and for your songs. Because if it's just generic, song 20, song 19, there's not going to be a lot into this. Also, sound design isn't even the main thing that matters nowadays. It really is just how you put everything together and how it's presented and how much we dance to it. With this song, it's almost a little bit too clean. Like the sub and the basses are not distorted enough, saturated enough for it to be super heavy. And the flows really aren't there either. So the energy is lower than it should be. Like, there's not a call and response here. You're teasing the sound. And then we just repeat the sound. So you're playing the sound. This is the first time we hear it. And then you just repeat it over and over. and the energy just starts to decrease over time because nothing new is happening. It's very easy as a listener to predict what's going to happen next. And if we can predict what's going to happen next, the energy is going to be low. You know, if I'm not getting surprised on each new phrase, there's not going to be a dancing. You know, there's not going to be movement. Because it's just the main bass, there's no conversation happening. There should be a call, a response, a conversation between two robotic basses so that we keep getting engaged in the sound. Right now, not a lot of engagement, and that is lowering the energy levels quickly. So work on the call and response, especially when the sound design, it just isn't there. Like I said, this isn't heavy enough. If the sound design was at the point where you squished the sub and the basses together, watch my latest prosecute video to see how I squish the bass, the sub bass, and the mid basses together, saturate them, clip them, add disperser. You're adding all this post-processing on the full group, and then it becomes huge mega beast with controlled lows, lots of saturation, and it just sounds just much heavier than this. What it sounds like is like how this song sounded like, super heavy. You hear the sub is like very distorted and big, and you know, we need to be getting like that in these heavier tear out, heavier rhythm songs. So keep those things in mind. If it was bigger and heavier, the call and response becomes less of an issue, and we just get the euphoric feeling of getting trapped in this super heavy, fucked up, evil, distorted space. There's different ways you could do it. You know, it's every song's different. We adapt to every song differently. But overall, my goal is to have you guys feel the energy, getting dancing. We want people to go fucking crazy at the festivals. That's the goal, right? And if it's not the goal, we want them to be tripping balls and then filling the wubs and just leaving their bodies and going into outer space. It's either vibe, psychedelic craziness, or extreme heavy darkness. Which realm are we entering? These are the two realms that are provided at the current moment. Shall you create a new realm? Ha! We shall never know who's up next. Good job, Kilowatts, killing the game as usual. Scaniel, next up. Burn the voices. Let's find the song. It's right here. And for some reason, it looks very small. I think it's being warped, so we're going to turn warp off. Looks like it's a tiny song. Let's get it. Scaniel. Hakai Dubs, you'll submit to my Discord, please. Okay, decent. The thing about this is that we have a lot of distortion, heaviness. It's like the mix is full already, just with the guns, with the big basses. Adding the voice on top of it is like overkill. There's too much going on. We're not able to focus on the voice, and now we're not able to focus on the heavy guns. So it's just an issue. Save the vocals for the beginning, for the intro, where there's more space for them to actually play out full. Because he's screaming, it's not a lot of high frequencies. It's a lot of low, mids, grungier, heavier frequencies. So the guns, which are the same frequencies, will compete with the voice. Lots of competitive, it's a competitive nature for these two to be together, and they're fighting, clashing. Their swords are loud, and we need them to turn down because we need focus on these guns. Imagine guns play. There's a fill. You throw in the screamo vocal. and then boom, back to the guns. And then you go back and forth between the heavy guns or the heavy vocals. Multiple options could work, but right now it's not working. It's becoming dynamicless, and we need to hear everything clearly, and we need to feel the waves and the dynamics. So make sure you are adjusting to the mix, using EQ properly, and figuring out what sounds compete with each other. Guns sound pretty good underneath. But also, check out the flow here. Kind of just repeating the same thing over and over again. There should be breaks for other basses to play, like maybe some longer, some sustained basses. Gets really repetitive, just repeating the same flow. The guns changing speed a little bit is not enough variation. It's not enough change in the flow for it to feel significant enough. So I want to look into that. Try to get energy as high as possible, and things want to sound super heavy, but also super clean at the same time. That's the goal. That's the magician way. The way of the magician. All right. Good job, Skenya. Nice cover art, by the way, for next week's stream. Oh, yes. Please resubmit this, Chronic, so we get it on next stream. I will not remember that yours is in the old feedback streams. Go submit it again, please. Do that ASAP. Up next, we got Goat Dubs. I was just thinking of Goat Dubs, and then boom, he pops up. I was thinking of Goat Dubs because I was like, damn, these people submitting this feedback are getting pretty good. And then I remembered last week's Goat Dub submission. I was like, damn, that was pretty good, that last week Goat Dub submission. And now we have a new submission. This is Nexer. Naker. Yeah, there's so many different ways this can be said. Inexker and the Villains. Usurper. Goat Dubs edit. Interesting. Get it done.
You and I talked a little bit
Yeah, very good job. Very good job. Very good, very good job. Coat Dubs edit. It's coming in pretty hot. Honestly, I gotta say, this is a good job, but the vocal in this playing during the drop sounds a little bit messy. It's starting to get very congested. The vocal sounds odd singing with the drop. And the transition from this song, which is not EDM, to the EDM section feels very odd. It's like we get thrown into EDM very randomly. We're like listening to this regular song, and the energy is pretty low here, you know? It's kind of like sad and slow. So like nothing at all is preparing us to dance like in a crazy heavy 140 manner. Even when these come in, it's very melodic and harmonic, so we're not feeling the darkness yet. We wash out to kind of get to the EDM section here. And then this, it feels very forced, you know, very forced in the context of the whole song. The idea of having the vocals play in the call and then going into it, it's pretty good. But continuing to play the vocals probably isn't the best idea. It's like competing with the bass, and it doesn't really sound too good. The vocals are... The vocals kind of sound distorted with it. So it's just like harsh. So I definitely try to transition all of this EDM into the regular. So we're going to probably need like an additional section here, maybe a fake out, something to blend these all together. And if you try to maybe even make a section where it goes from the melodic, harmonic stuff, the boom, we enter the darkness, and slowly start to tease the drop, things like that will be really helpful. But like the vocal singing here is just, it's very messy. The mix is so full of so many sounds and frequencies, and they don't feel like they're blending together in harmony perfectly. So things are competing, clashing. It sounds a bit harsh. You want things to be a little bit cleaner than this for sure. Decent idea. It's nice to blend in different genres with ours, especially like when you're DJing live. To bring in some different energy is always good. I personally would not pick this song. Like the vocals sound odd and the energy of the original song is odd. So just whenever you're choosing to bootleg or flip or remix a song, you should try to incorporate the original energy somehow into your new energy. If they're two different energies, it's going to feel awkward. We don't want it to feel awkward. We want it to feel natural and organic. Keep those things in mind. Good job, Coat Dubs. Usurper. Goat Dub Edit. Up next. Hermes. Digital. A masochist. New master. About time we get to this. Let's go ahead and get it done. Run it.
Fire!
Okay, this is interesting. It really does seem like you are making all of this from scratch. Are you doing your own vocals on this? It sounds like it. It sounds like you're processing and recording these vocals by yourself. The reason is because it doesn't sound that clean. It sounds wrong in a lot of areas. For example, in the intro, we can barely hear the vocals. It's almost not audible. So whenever I hear things like that, it makes me think that you're adding these vocals in by yourself. And then when I hear sections like this, it's far there. Like the pronunciation, the speed of how you're saying these lyrics feels very unnatural. And this makes me think again that this is you singing or someone else that you brought in to your house. It's sounding very like cheesy here, and it doesn't sound professional. So lots of things that are wrong, like EQ wise, compression wise, layering wise. I can feel my eyes rolling in. And timing wise, most importantly, it sounds like in many different sections, the vocals are not in time with your song. You can tell easily over here as well. Like there's a bass being teased in the background, and these vocals are not on time with it. It starts to get on time over here. Slowly, but it's just like all over the place time-wise. So that's just like the intro sections. In your drop sections, it gets really messy because there's so many different basses playing in such a short amount of time, and they're not structured in a way where they're talking to each other. It's more like you're just playing random presets. That's what it sounds like. And because of that, it sounds like there's not a lot of energy. It sounds very unnatural, and it becomes muddy. Most importantly, it becomes like muddy with low mid frequency. So if we listen in sections like this, so we have basses, guitars, sustains. Sometimes we even throw in the vocal layered with all this sound too. So many things are playing at one time and they're not blending together. EQ and cutting frequencies is really important. So you want to be doing this and cutting all the lows and mids out of most of your sounds and only letting lows and mids on certain sounds. And then stereo imaging, putting things in the middle or putting things on the side and kind of giving them their own space is also really important. That's how we will let things sit and fit in the mix properly. I think that's about it. The vocal, I don't know. It seems like you may be out of tune or not in scale. Make sure that if you're in F minor, for example, you are screaming in F minor and hitting notes that sound in, like, I know it's really distorted vocals, but we still want to be able to make sure we sound in tune with the song. Call and response is really important. Look at my call and response videos so that you understand dynamics and flow, and simplicity is key. You don't need 32 different basses in this song. You only need like 4 to 8. And you want to structure those 4 to 8 in cool different ways and have those 4 to 8 basses maybe change slightly over time so that all your basses feel like family. They feel like relatives rather than significantly different basses playing at different times. I think that's about it. Definitely a lot of things to work on here. If you ever need 1v1 help, anyone, I do lessons all the time with my students. We progress very quickly and efficiently. So just hit me up if you need help with that, or DM me on Instagram or Discord and I can help you as well. Any questions? That is Hermes with Digital Masochist. Up next, we got YHWH. Let's get him in. I'll watch the VOD when it's out for my feedback. I try my best to incorporate the tips you gave me in the last stream. Plan on doing the same this time around. All right, good. Did we actually listen to your song already? Yeah, we did listen to your song already, Throat Slitter. And yeah, it was good. I'm glad that you did feedback on the last time that I gave it to you. That was awesome. YHWH is up next by 7 Rixus. I'm going to go to the restroom real quick. I'll be right back 1 second.
Dead Scroll. Dead Scroll.
Let's get it done. 7, I don't even know what this name is. Trixius? Maybe? Trixus? Possibly. Up next, YHWH. Let's go. This is pretty cool. Lots of great dynamics here. Bouncing up, down, going in, out, lots of movement. Plus, we're adding harmony in it with the choir, and it feels good. It feels good. But some sections are like just unnecessary. So like this fake out, for example, or this filter, I should say, filter fake out thing. Like we're in the drop, we're in a very energetic section, and you decide to remove all the frequencies and remove all of the energy in an important section. And because of this, it's pretty awkward. We stop dancing, and it just feels like this is misplaced in the wrong time. It should be placed in a different section. Usually you'll let maybe 4 bars play, let another 4 bars play, so 8 bars just played. We're halfway through the drop, and then boom, you throw in this important frequency fake out thing in a more prominent section. So once you do it, you also want to like think of how it feels in context. So you'll listen to the full thing in context. And if it doesn't work halfway through the drop, then you'll maybe put it at the beginning of the drop or another section or cut it in half. Just try not to remove the energy. That's the whole goal. There's a lot of like hats and sounds that are still playing when it gets almost silent here. So you want to control your tails. That little wiggly wobbly thing. If you control your tails, you'll create even more dynamics, more movement when it gets quiet. And that's going to be impactful. Yeah, and this main riff is going to start to get repetitive over time. So you want to start adding longer speeds, like sustain basses, or adding more chords or harmony, different cool sections to break away from the same repetitive bass riff. And I think if you do all that, then we'll be able to keep the energy increasing over time, keep that shit pumping, which is important. I want to get that shit pumping all the time. YHWH by Trixis, I believe. Good job. Next up in line, we have Brutal. Azernian and Kairoken Forsaken Magic Brutal Remix. Runner up. Let's go ahead and check it out and get it done. Let's go. Okay, that's brutal. I'm coming in with the Forsaken Magic remix. Is this a legit remix? You got the stems? Was this a flip or a bootleg? We shall never know. Nevertheless, this song was pretty all over the place, I gotta say. There's a lot of issues here, and I think the most important issue is that it's very messy and muddy, and there's not a lot of harmony provided. So there's a lack of emotion, a lack of this feeling, and more, you get the feeling of tension and dissonance. Plus, the congestion levels are very, very high. Just listen to this section. It sounds like multiple phones are just going off, and there's not really any type of tonal center. It really sounds like just basses are just playing at random. And so many basses are playing at the same time, going in different directions, different pitches. It's very messy. So because of that, there's a lack of energy here. There's not a lot of dynamics. It's just kind of loud sounds getting blasted at you the whole time, and it doesn't feel structured. Like, this is very congested here. The sub also is pitch bending and doing its own thing separately from what the basses are doing. And it feels like two different things are playing at the same time, and there's just not harmony being created. Plus, you're choosing to put some of your kicks offbeat and completely off time. And then now we're getting this weird offbeat timing flow mixed in with all the congestion. It becomes pretty difficult to listen to. Like, even in these sections when it should be a fill, like there's a drum fill happening, you choose to play the basses through it. It's just very, very messy. It's not clean. These are the kicks I'm talking about here. Your offbeat double kick. Got to be careful with those, because taking us off of the timing is a very risky thing to do. And when you're doing it in this drop, it's getting us off of the main dancing rhythm, and it's causing disruption. So you're going to need to look into the overall sound design here. There doesn't seem like there's much sound design going on. It just sounds like random sound just playing at one time. So, check out the amount of distortion, dissonance, and tension being created in your basses, and make sure that they're organized in some sort of way so that we can present them in the drop. Because right now it just sounds like harsh sounds are playing with drums, and doesn't really feel like music too much. You add a different low grungy bass with all this, and it becomes even more muddy than the first drop. So we need to be very careful here. The first song I ever listened to you had a lot of harmony, lots of emotion, clean dynamics. Things were stacked very well. This seems like the complete opposite. So, look at what works. Reference tracks that you love so you can see what the pros are doing, because we can't just blast sounds like this. It's going to be causing tension, and we shouldn't be causing this much tension when there's all these vibes at the beginning. You're setting us up with harmony and melody, and then we lose it all in the drop. So in full context, it's also not transitioning well either. So check these things out. Very important. You want energy to be high. You want it to feel good. It's all about how the music feels. Don't want to feel like we're tense unless it's purposeful. Sudden Death does it on purpose in some sections. Horror music does it on purpose in some sections. Muerte. It's a very advanced, complicated thing to do. with breaking the rules of the scale and completely veering away from harmony. It's pretty crazy. Bro, thank you so much. It's funny because I actually agree with everything. Oh, good, Brutal. Got runner-up, legitimate remix. Oh, nice, dude. Love to hear it. Good job. Keep on grinding. Keep on making old beggars. Lair said, not gonna lie, dig that psych out drop. Please skip mine for this week. Kumite, what do you mean skip yours for this week? I don't even know what your artist name is. What is your artist name? I don't think I'm going to skip it. Why do you want me to skip it? Are you scared? Don't be scared. Don't be scared out here, man. We got Scandalous, Wasted, featuring the Tree Amigos. Let's go ahead and check it out. Let's get it done. Run it.
Change my truth, I'm walking loud. I'll play till we end of time. I fall into the devil's love. You take all that I can give. You waste time.
Interesting. Very interesting. You would assume with a song that has so much chords and melodics and vocals, you would feel like you would feel more just in general. Like a lot of feelings and emotions and memories and all these different things that happen when we feel harmony would start to occur. But we're not really getting that. It feels off. And I'm pretty sure the vocals are the cause of it. The vocals are one of the main things here. Her singing wasted. It's incorporated in everything. But it doesn't seem like she is singing in key. It doesn't seem like she's perfectly hitting the scale. Whenever someone sings, like 80% of the time, they think they're super good and they think they're awesome. And then you put them into the recording booth and all the eyes are on them. And they usually choke and they usually don't have the same energy that they did when they were freestyling with you, hitting perfect notes, and issues start to arise. That's why being a real legit singer or rapper it takes a lot of skill, because it's very difficult to be consistent with your pitch. And it sounds like she needs to, improve her singing. And a lot of people, when I was at audio school recording these singers, they would swear that they know how to sing and that they're the best singers, but they just don't fully understand yet. And our ears at the beginning don't know how to pick up if someone is out of tune or in tune. So you have to use tools like Melodyne. And when you put Melodyne up and you listen to her singing, Melodyne tells you exactly what notes she's hitting. And she could be singing too flat, which is like too low. It sounds like she's singing too flat. Doesn't sound like she's singing high enough and hitting the notes properly. And because of that, there's a lot of like tension and dissonance in the song when there should be the opposite. Lots of harmony and togetherness. And, just the EDM feeling, the festival feeling. I'm not really getting a lot of that. So I have suspicion that the vocal is off. It also kind of sounds like you guys may have recorded her vocal, or she may have sent it to you. Wherever you're getting it from, you need to figure out exactly what's going on with that. Tune it properly. Don't trust what it's labeled as. Someone could record something and they think it's in D minor, but it's not even in D minor because they didn't fully check every single note, or they may not be using auto-tune correctly. We use Melodyne and auto-tune together to get pitch perfect for vocals. And if they don't know how to sing properly, the Melodyne and auto-tune won't fix a bad singer. It doesn't do that. You have to be able to know how to get close enough to the notes for auto-tune and Melodyne to be any helpful. So check those things. The energy in the intro and the breakdown are very low. It's hard to listen to. Not a lot of energy. And then when we get to the drop, there's not a lot of energy either. There really should be a fake out. Like this whole transition feels off. It's most likely because all the melodic elements are playing during the drop. It's like the ARP is still playing dun dun, or the keys, I should say, or the bells. Sounds congested with the basses, and we need those melodic elements not to be playing as much during this important section. Playing it right here for the call would be enough. So things are, kind of messy. Lots of things are playing at the same time. It's kind of hard to focus on one thing. You can slow down the melodic, so instead of it going dun dun, you can go dun dun dun. Half time it. Allow more space to be in the mix. There's a synth that plays in the intro and the break. This loud top synth. It's so like straight line. There's not a lot of wiggly movements. There's not a lot of dynamics in the sound going loud to quiet. It's like really loud and abrasive. Like it sounds dry. And it's competing with the vocal when things should be blending together. But like I said, I don't even think things are in harmony right now. The vocal sounds. Like it just sounds in harmony here. It just sounds off. So we want to double check pitch, scale, key. We need things to be kind of perfect when it comes to these chords and harmony. That's about it. It gets difficult once you go into audio engineering and you start understanding how to mix and master vocals, how to record vocals, how sensitive the vocal is, and how easy it is for people to get out of key, out of tune. I'm telling you, once you hear someone who actually knows how to sing perfectly, it's mind-blowing and it feels so good. It's pretty obvious too. So like, be vigilant and don't always trust every singer. We have to make sure we coach them. When you're bringing in a vocalist to record them, as an engineer, we have to like coach them and show them and lead them and tell them to go higher, tell them to go lower, know how to talk to them, tell them what notes to hit, how to change their voice, because usually that has to be done. So make sure if you're going to take the next step and add your own vocals or get vocals that sing a lot, we take the extra time to process them and get them perfect. The vocals will be the key to success if you get them correctly. Oh yeah, do you want me to skip yours? Now you can play it. I sent the new version for next week. I'll compare feedback. Okay, sounds good. Up next, Entity Pariah version 6. Let's go ahead and get it done. Let's get it done. All right, cool. This is kind of all over the place with, or in regards to pitch movement. When the pitch is going super high pitch, low pitch, it needs to be controlled. It needs to be within the scale. When we're making music, we can't just like play any frequency. Usually we want to be playing frequencies that are in our scale. If you pick D minor, for example, we have 7 different frequencies we're allowed, in quotations, allowed to play. These ones, the highlighted ones. When you are making your music here, you're pitching up, pitching down, doing these ramps up, ramps down, and we're using a lot of the notes that are not allowed to be used. So we're not in harmony. We're actually creating a lot of tension, and it seems like the pitches don't belong with each other. We need to stick to a scale, and whenever we're doing like ramps up and ramps down, pitch bends, they have to be real strategic because that can throw us off easily. And it also can be used very strategically where it adds a lot of energy because we're like pitching up in a build-up, for example. There's certain sections in your song where the harmony doesn't matter as much, like the build-up compared to your drop where there's a big sub bass playing and everything should be in harmony. The harmony means that we're vibrating at the same vibration, so everything stacks up perfectly. Like we're rising up, and we're rising up so early within the drop. The whole goal of music is for us to have a strong foundation home at our root note. So you play D, maybe take a journey away from home, and then resolve back home, back to D. That's how music's made. And right now we're kind of starting one place and then just randomly going up as soon as we start playing. So we don't have a foundation home. And the pitch is just all over the place. So we need some structure. We need things to seem controlled. Work on call, response, and fills within 4 bars. Do a less pitch movement. Save the pitch movement for sections that it makes sense. Right now we're just moving up and down in pitch all the time in random locations. So we need this to be structured. Plus, it starts to get very repetitive over time. We're playing the same sounds over and over and over again. So later on in the song, they start to have less energy and they don't feel as new and fresh anymore. So yeah, just very random. The basses don't feel like it's in like a song. It feels like a preview of a sound design sample pack or something, rather than a composition and a piece of music. So work on song arrangement, composition. Watch the call and response video that I made so that you can start making your 4-bar phrases have enough movement and energy so that we can keep the song going. Over time, that should be about it. Yes, sir. We'll check it next week and see how you improved from there. Good job, good job. Entity, Pariah version 6. Next in line is Wags. Heaven Feels Like Remix 2. Okay, let's get it done. Run it.
Souls in the darkness, looking for stars through the clouds. Broken down, broken hearted, you were the light that I found. Yeah, I just had to let you know. No, I don't ever wanna let you go. Some nights when I look in your eyes, I can
All right, cool. Great song to remix. The amount of harmony and emotion that's being created here is intense. It gives you the feels. The vocals are perfect. But us transitioning into this amazing dynamic, like quieter, like it's not loud here, you know what I'm saying? But when we get to the drop, it gets really loud. We're at -4 LUFS. It's a little bit too loud for this genre, honestly. We're starting to get to the point where it's sounding a little bit harsh. It's sounding a little bit over compressed, like we're pulling up the frequencies up too much and we're losing the dynamics and losing the waves, and it's becoming more of a straight line of sound. And we got to be careful, because when it's this harmonic and this much dynamics, we want it to be less loud. -4 is like super loud. That's like tear out range, heavy dubstep. So a song like this doesn't need to be that loud. -6 is a good range. The volume imbalances are quite significant. Like the pre-drop vocals are so quiet. They should be a little bit louder, and then the drop is too loud. So we want to be careful here with the mixing. If this was mixed very well, it would be so much cleaner. But right now it sounds a little bit like distorted and harsh, and things are, I'm pretty sure things are being compressed too much. I wish I could check your compressors and the amount of compression, but just fall back. Don't go too crazy. Control your dynamics as best as possible. Overall, this is good, very vibey. It was pretty easy to listen to the whole thing. Felt good, felt nice. And also, like, just so you know, the drop, once it's mixed well and whatever, all the things I say, it still will sound pretty generic. Like, there's a lot of songs that sound like this. A lot of songs that do this and have been doing this for many years. So I definitely would recommend starting to switch up different phrases, adding new cool things to surprise the listener, so that they get more than just the feel-good, harmonic, future-based song. They get you. They get something new. Alrighty. Good job. Wags coming in hot. Next up, Razor. Let's get it done. I charge $65 for my 1v1 lessons. Zoom call, video call. You know, we get it done. Hit me up for more info. All right, cool. That's Razor by Burn. We got some wubby dubbies in here. It's nice to hear. But it sounds almost like we're filtered. It sounds like we're in like a little bubble of sound, and things don't feel as big and full as they should be. Melody sounds nice. in this section, we're pretty quiet. We're at negative 11 LUFS. So the overall intro is fairly quiet. And then we get into the drop.
What?
The drop stays at this quiet level, about negative 11 LUFS. We need this drop to feel bigger and louder than your intro. So we want this drop to get into the single digits, like negative 8 LUFS, maybe negative 7 LUFS. You want to layer more basses and then compress and saturate the basses. You can compress, add compressors and add saturators to the groups of basses and turn them up as a group as well. And we want to pull up all the frequencies with compression and add more frequencies with saturation. It's going to help a lot. Your sub is pretty big in the mix, so we want your basses to be big with it. And that melody in the drop will start to feel like it's in the background and support the basses rather than kind of the spotlight in the drop, your melodies, because of how loud they are compared to your basses. So we need that to change. We need those basses to have the spotlight for sure. And lastly, the hats are like going fast. If you switch up the hats and go halftime, or maybe add more bouncy rhythms to the hats, it's going to add a lot of flow and groove. Right now, the hat's just going, I think probably eighth notes right now, is fast. It feels a little bit unnatural with the basses. You want to maybe keep it fast in some sections, slow in other sections, bouncy in other sections. Start to add more energy using those hi-hats, those closed hats. That'll be nice. That'll be a fun, good time. That's pretty good though. Overall, good job with your wubbies. Burn. Razor. Last in line is Lazy the Magnificent. This is one guy who has an eye. Hot tune. What we got? Let's go. I got a hot tune.
When we drop tune, it have to be a top tune. It have to wheel and pull up because a hot tune.
Hot tune.
Hot tune.
Oh, hot tune.
Watch this. Ah yes. Ah yes, good. They are watching, they looking. What do they see? Top tune, top tune, top tune,
Hot tune.
Them a make nice butter, we bring the vibe.
Hot tune. Okay, this is pretty decent. I like the Jamaican vocals.
It have to wheel.
It's pretty slow though. The song pretty slow in these intro sections. Remember, we're dancing half time of your already slow BPM. So if you're in like 120, dude, we're dancing fucking 60 beats per minute right here. Kind of just too slow.
It have to be a top tune.
The vocals seem off time in most sections, so we really got to make sure those vocals are on time for it to sound professional, for it to sound proper and presentable.
Ah yes. highest grade.
Bass movements are a little random. They seem a bit more structured in the second drop. Low is much better here, much more structured. Over here it seems random and the energy is kind of all over the place. Plus sounds like this are the opposite of the deep Jamaican heaviness that we were feeling. So this feels a bit random too. Lots of different sounds playing all in a very short amount of time. They don't sound like relatives. They sound very different from each other. There's not a lot of cohesion between the movements of basses. Like I said, pretty random. And then in some sections, it seems empty. Like during these sections, it's just like one bass playing. You could have another bass on the offbeat, for example. But it's just like one bass with reverb. It seems a bit empty. There should be more supporting layers underneath, adding more danceable groove, supporting these basses that are playing. And then sections like this, empty. Too slow, too empty to be happening in the middle of the song. You can get away with it more at the beginning or the outro, but here it's very slow. Too slow a little bit too slow. Otherwise, that's a hot tune. Good job on the vocals, good job on the wubs. Just structure, get those vocals perfect in time, but continue to pick cool vocals like the deep Jamaican Rasta. That's how we get it done. This is the track feedback stream 84. We're almost at 100 and we're almost at 10,000 fucking subscribers on the road to 10K. You guys keep killing it. Keep making bangers and keep making me proud, man. Every time I keep getting on these feedback streams, you guys are improving significantly. Drip Battle will be on Friday. We're going to make music together and see who makes the best song. Otherwise, look out for the next videos coming soon. And if you want to support me with my Patreon. Have a great night. I will see you guys soon. And keep it real, keep it fresh all day. See you later.